in my favorite place in the whole wide world, except it's pretty fucking windy. I was like, oh, the wind's coming already. See, this is the benefits of like living like 45 minutes inland. You freaking miss the no wind part, you know? So welcome to Crown Chakra Consciousness. I trust that if it gets too windy at any given time, you will let me know. I was going to say you will send me a message. I'm like, no, you will just tell me on the live stream. I'm trusting that I can see the comments. So if you guys can say hi and let me know, because it might not let me see comments even. Thank you, Lena. Hello. It's actually pretty windy now. Is this pretty windy on the microphone? Because I might try turning away around the other way. What's with the wind? Of course. It was like, no, not yet. It kind of comes and goes, so I'm going to trust. And these microphones are usually reasonably good and don't pick up the wind too much. So I'm going to trust that if it's like blowing a freaking gale, you'll let me know. All right. So hello and welcome to Crown Chakra Consciousness. I'm a little bit excited about having you guys here and about this journey because, oh my God, is like Crown Chakra over already? Because Crown Chakra is huge when we talk about opening to new realities, seeing new realities, whole realities busting through to existence, yeah? So thank you very much for letting me know it's clear. I'm just going to trust that it is perfect. Thanks for letting me know where you're from around the world as well. Canada, awesome. Okay, perfect. You can hear the wind. Okay. Still trying to shake off this cold. Yeah, a lot of people are feeling a bit sniffly off. Yeah, so the wind's a little bit strong for me. Am I lacking on doing a live stream? See, it comes and goes. Watching from Bali. Oh, with beautiful water like this usually. Hey, what if I just turn this way? It might block it a little bit. Okay, maybe if I stand like this, it'll just block it slightly. I think that works. Because the microphone's here, right? Yep. It's not back today. All right. The wind is fine. Stop stressing about it, Hannah. I just get paranoid. How's that freaking view? Oh, I am in my happy place. That's right. My happy place. Okay. All right. So sound is perfect. I can stop stressing about it. Okay. You can't hear the wind. Okay. I wondered if it was a autocorrect. Siri, I don't know. Siri, you're not really on the game. Not really on the game. Okay. Just letting you know you're in the camera. Just letting you know. Sometimes I know you don't like it, that's why I'm just saying, because, yeah. All right, so my happy place. My fucking happy place. That's better. All right, so Crown Chakra Consciousness. This is the start of our 9-week journey. So with the chakra consciousness, if this is your first time here, she is so grown up, she's 13 and a half. If this is your first time here to our chakra consciousness journey, please let me know this is your first time. I've done this for several years now, and every year we go through the chakra consciousness journey. Every year you will grow more from doing the chakra consciousness journey. It's like we go deeper layers each time you do it. Each year you do it, you'll be old timer here. Each time you go through the chakra consciousness journey, you are, I want to say, like, I don't know if it's going deeper layers. Well, it is, right? It's almost like we peel off the layers of the onion. We go deeper into consciousness when we go through the chakra consciousness journey. So, and how it works, right? So for those first timers here, is basically each Monday, Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. So it's Monday here in Australia, Monday morning. I will be going live roughly around this time, give or take an hour. So always just check on the page and you'll know, and we'll post 24 hours beforehand as well. So you'll know the correct time too. So each week we'll go through and we're doing the live training here. And what else is there? So each week, so we're starting crown chakra consciousness today, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're still in crown chakra consciousness technically, okay? It's a technical week for it. When we are working on a particular chakra, we are already activating the next one down. So with the chakra consciousness and the chakras, I work from the crown coming down. Most of traditional society works from the base chakra or the root chakra coming up. I work coming down. Now, this last week, so this previous week, you would have already been experiencing crown chakra consciousness. The anger, the rage, the like feeling like you lost your mind at certain points, fever even. And I know that, fever is like a thing in the world at the moment with the world stuff, but it is because as we're busting into a new consciousness in reality, we're also busting into, I'm just going to put my book here so it's easy. We're busting into it's like crowning, yeah? So a baby is born, usually, naturally through the crown, like we're crowning, right? We're busting through a new reality, yeah? So when we're busting through, it's like, oh, and that's the burning rage, anger, that's all heat, yeah? And so it can be like feeling almost nauseous because of the fever, but it's like breaking through and busting through. So if you're not feeling the burning rage and anger in your emotions, you might have fever, you might be sort of sniffly, whatever, because we're busting through into a new reality. It's like work, right? Working out at the gym in a way, you're busting through, you're creating a new reality, yeah? Like a baby is being born. So, and that's why each time you do the chakra consciousness journey, you're like, you're doing a deeper layer, yeah? So, okay, so crown chakra consciousness. So this week is crown. Also be aware, as I said, we're activating the next chakra down, which is the third eye. So this coming week, we're in crown, but you might still be getting experiences in your physical reality, life, dreams, etc., because this is starting to activate and drop into the third eye chakra consciousness, which is all about relationships, seeing the truth in your reality, seeing the truth in your relationships, seeing the truth and understanding dynamics in your reality as well, yeah? So understanding those pieces. What else is there? Okay, yep, so already starting to work into the next chakra, so just be mindful of that third eye next week. Now, what else do I need to explain as a little bit of housekeeping for the first timers? So also, if you want to, there's 2 things that you can work with, technically 3 things, as we go through this next 9 weeks together, okay? So, one is turning up for these live streams. There will always be a replay, okay? You can find them on my Facebook page and also on the Crystalline Chakra Journey link. We're going to put the replays on that page as well, so you can always find them there. During the week, I will do some more live streams on the crown, post about it, etc. So we're really in the energy of it, understanding the crown chakra consciousness as a consciousness, because it's a consciousness, yeah? So when we understand the consciousness of a chakra, we're not only activating the chakra and activating the physical organ that relates to that particular chakra, but we're fully bringing that consciousness into reality. So who's heard of Christ consciousness? Yeah, they say Jesus will rise from the dead. Well, he did, right? But they say that Christ is coming back. And what that actually means is that the Christ consciousness is here. The Christ consciousness has infiltrated through people into their hearts, and it's a specific consciousness, yeah? It's being activated in the body, and the same with the chakra consciousness, yeah? So this 9-week journey is a snippet, yeah? It's probably, 0.0000001% of actually the depth of what you could go into of each chakra. And I'm creating the chakra in Rapid Ascension Awakening. It's a full course on each chakra. So this is like a snippet. It's an understanding. It's a welcome. It's a, joining this, understanding of how it affects your life, how it can heal your life, and also activate through your body. Yeah? And heal your body, obviously. So number 1 is the live streams. There's always replays. There's each week I'll post about the particular chakra, okay, for the 9 weeks. And then also there's the ebook. So there's a free ebook you can also download, and we'll post about that, or you can send me a message and just say ebook please, and we'll send you the link and you can download. There's a crown chakra ebook, there's a third eye chakra ebook, there's an ear chakra ebook, like there's one for each week, okay? That's all free. If you want to upgrade yourself, you can listen to the Crystalline Chakra activation. So these are specific activations that I've created. It's like a meditation. Yeah, meditation and activation is like flicking on a switch. It's like turning on the light. Yeah. So it's the crystalline chakra activation. So this is not a normal like clear your chakras. This is actually an activation, and it's a crystalline activation. So it's a different energy that comes through of the specific chakras. So there's 9 of them in the actual pack you can purchase. They're $49. It is something that you purchase, of course, and you can listen to it once. So if you bought it and you can listen to the crown like today or tomorrow, you can listen to it daily. You can listen to it once over the week. Totally up to you. And then you've got them for each week that you go through the chakras. Yeah. Elena said, my headache went away as you started this live stream. Yes. So headaches. Yeah. So let's dive into the crown chakra consciousness. So the crown chakra consciousness is related to the brain. Yeah. It's at the, like I said, it's at the top. Yeah. Look, I'm seeing the truth of my crown, of my reality. The sun is on my head. It's like the crown. Yeah. So we're crowning and birthing a new reality. We are bringing that consciousness into reality. So the crown chakra consciousness is opening up to new dimensions. You might have seen it like a lotus flower on the top of the head. Yeah. We're literally opening up and letting spirit, letting light, letting source come into our body. People who are depressed or even like schizophrenic as well. So a lot of mental illness problems. So the crown chakra is really related to the brain. Yeah, that's the physical organ that it's connected to, is the brain. So any brain issues, brain tumors, seizures, depression, headaches, tightness, through the sort of scalp, migraines, like all that sort of thing. And whilst the migraines, you might feel them more around, eyes, third eye sort of thing, depending, I know they can be different. Like in seeing the truth. So you don't like what you're seeing in your reality. You're trying to block it out. It's like, oh, it's too much. I can't deal with that, right? It's like the crown chakra is also about headaches. And again, so there's 2 things that happen, right? So when we're feeling the energy of the chakra, if there is blockages in that particular chakra, you will feel them as physical symptoms. So fever, burning, anger, rage. I know that's an emotion, but like headaches, like the fever, tightness, all that sort of thing. And whilst it's kind of like, some people are like, oh, I'm sick, or like, this is bad, I need to go to the doctor. And whilst you should, if you really, like listen to yourself and your intuition, of course. But we have to remember with spiritual healing, energy healing, and even like physical healing, okay, is that when something is stuck and clogged and then you're trying to move it, right, whether through joining the chakra consciousness journey or other spiritual work that you do, or physio, whatever you're doing, right, it's going to hurt to start moving that energy, right? So I don't know how to describe it, but let's say there's a pipe or a tube or a hose and it's clogged, right? It's clogged. And you're trying to like move the mud or whatever's stuck in there, like that breaking down of the mud or whatever's, you're trying to break it down, like that's going to hurt the mud. This is like a bad analogy, right? But you get the picture. Like if mud had feelings, it would hurt to break it apart and turn it back into sand or something. Do you know what I'm trying to say, right? So a headache is like, yes, it has the metaphysical meanings of like, too much going on, overwhelm, blah, blah, blah. But it's also shifting the energy, right? Instead of it being, instead of it being subconscious stuck, so you're unconscious to that block there, when it becomes conscious, you're like, ow, what the hell is that, right? And because the energy is starting to move through the pipe, the water's starting to push it through, the energy, and our energy in our body is called chi, right? It's a flow, it's a movement. It's a bit like our blood moving through. Same with the blood clot. Let's look at that, for example, right? So when we look at, a blood clot, it's stuck, right? There's a coagulation of blood there, yeah? And so when we start moving that, you might get pain there. Well, of course, it's going to be pain there when it's stuck, right? Obvious, and we know what a blood clot does, right? But you get the point, right? The mud and the water trying to push through it's going to hurt the mud. Like I said, that doesn't really work, because does mud have feelings? Well, I believe everything has feelings, including teddies, but you know what I mean. Yes, exactly right. So Vishnu says, I've allowed the pain and the headaches and not taken painkillers, right? And so, it's so a fine line, and it's so important to trust your intuition over what I say or anyone else says, right? If you feel like you need to go to a doctor, you freaking go to a doctor, okay? Like I always say, if something happens to me, I'd want to go to a doctor to figure it out, okay? Because that's what they're trained in, okay? It's so important. But when you start to move into this spiritual work and healing and understanding how energy works specifically, okay, and understanding how energy works, when we start to have that sort of visual understanding of the chi moving through your body, or it's same with like yoga, right? So when you're in a yoga pose and say you're in warrior, okay, and you're like holding it for ages and the teacher's like making you hold it for ages, what seems like ages because you haven't done it for ages, and then you're like, oh, you're shaking, like that shaking and pain, if you may, because it's painful when you're holding a pose for ages, right? You're like, when are they bringing me out of this? Who's been in that position, right? When you're shaking in a yoga pose, who's ever experienced that, right? That's the energy starting to move along those meridians, the energy lines, like your blood flow, right? Like similar, they're like tubes running through your body, like your veins, okay, the meridians. And that's where you get acupuncture, okay, traditional Chinese medicine. And so that shaking is the hose, yeah, trying to push the water through, trying to push the mud through and unblock it. Yeah, it's the energy pushing the stuck energy bits through. Yeah, so you can flow again. Yeah. So when we look at pain in our body, especially when we're on the chakra consciousness journey, okay? Or like, for example, I was with my client on a call the other day and I started burping and stuff. And he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to explain how I work. So burping, coughing, farting, sweating, what's the other thing? Yawning. I'm clearing energy. I forgot to say that. Okay. So it's all like it moves through because we're physical beings and we've got these energetic senses through our body, right? And connection to source, etc. So we're unblocking the connection to source. This is a big part about what crown chakra is. I forgot to mention. So each year we do the chakra consciousness. I don't talk about the same things each time of course I'm talking about the same things, I'm talking about crown, okay? But each year we do it, it's going to be a different level of chakra consciousness coming through in the particular live stream on this day, for example, for what the people who are here today need to hear, okay? So just so you know that, because when you download the ebook, okay, so there's an ebook for crown, third eye, ears, etc. The page that those ebooks are on, if you scroll right down to the bottom, there's all the replays from all the years we've done ear chakra consciousness. So there's all the ears, yeah, from all the years. And then there's other live streams, resources and everything related to ear chakra consciousness on the page. Same with crown, same with third eye, etc. Just so you know, right? So if you ever say you've got a headache and you're like, okay, Hannah said this is crown. Okay, I get that, but what else is crown about? And you might go to the crown chakra page and there's all these other crown chakra live streams. And you might scroll through and you click on that one intuitively and listen to it and you're like, that's what's going on for me today, right? So just so you know, that's there as well. So, okay, what else? All right, so headaches and migraines. I know someone had said that there as well. So definitely related to brain, okay, mental illness. The other part about it is the connection to spirit, to source, like I said, okay. So like I said, it's a lotus flower that opens up, yeah. When that's closed, it's blocked off, it's cut off. We're cut off from source, yeah. So, when you see people and it's like the lights are on but nobody's home, they're not grounded in their body, they're out. It's too painful in here, okay, whether that's through birth trauma or physical trauma from, abuse or even emotional abuse, anything growing up as a child, etc., etc. If people haven't dealt with their feelings, their soul disappears and it hangs just above their body. They're out of their body. So, when you're looking at someone and you just know, you're even listening to me, or they look straight through you, that can be, clairvoyance, etc., but it depends who you're talking to, right? And it's these people are very well known as ADD, ADHD, all those sort of bipolar, schizophrenia, all of that sort of stuff. They're just out of their body, and they're so highly connected to source. Yeah, they're so highly connected. Yeah, and it's almost like they're so highly connected to source that there's a language barrier. There's a language barrier dissonance between you and them because they're so connected to source. They haven't grounded that into reality yet. They haven't learned how to function in their physical body as a human and they're excarnated and the soul's hanging up out of their body. So for like children, adults, right, the best thing you can do is work to be grounded in your body, okay? And then also like things like creativity, okay? So the artistic projects, working in the sand, being in nature, all of those sorts of things, but also like watercolor paints and really like downloading all the feelings, okay? So downloading feelings, meaning instead of carrying the feelings, some people can't even feel, right? Because they're so cut off and they're so out, they can't even feel. Yeah, so some people get headaches for many reasons, don't like what they're seeing in their reality. Brain neural pathways changing when we're birthing into a new reality. So if you've gone through a big change in your life lately and you haven't been able to cry about it because grief is a natural process of change, we can still be excarnated in our body. And that's why sometimes when you do a healing session with people or you get a massage and you start crying, it's because you're getting in your body and you're starting to feel your feelings. And so if you can't go to sleep at night, you're like out of your body, you're excarnated, you're too open, yeah? So grounding techniques, taking time to wind down, bringing, like using foot massage yourself, wearing red socks, like really getting grounded in your body and that will make you start to feel. And that's what most people are scared of because they've been told not to feel, and that's how society is trained. So there's a big rewiring process going on. And when we're learning something new, it is a rewiring of the brain, right? The neural pathways when we're learning something new. And that's why we're like, oh, I'm so excited about learning this thing. And then you're like, oh my God, this is so much, right? Because the brain neural pathways are changing, and that changes your reality. And that's why in the crown chakra consciousness, we're busting through to a new reality. So the most important thing is that, grounding through the crown, but also shifting reality, but also the connection to source. So if you're depressed, again, sometimes migraines and headaches can also be because there's no, there's no food from source. Tricky to describe. So if you can imagine your crown's healthily open like a big beautiful lotus flower. It's purple, by the way. If you see your crown chakra or know your crown chakra as a different color, please trust that over anything else, okay? It might change colors, like you trust that, okay? It's technically known as purple, but what's your intuition showing you that your crown is, right? Okay, it could be purple, could be something else, okay? Always trust yourself over what I say or anyone else teaches you, okay? It's always a guiding point. You might be like, oh yeah, it is purple. And then 6 months later, you're like, actually, it's changed. Like you trust that because your intuition is showing you something, okay? So, so what else do I want to say about that? Okay, so the connection to source is one of the biggest things. So the migraines, the headaches are like busting through new reality, fever, burning rage, like all of that stuff can be, the crown chakra consciousness can be really confronting. Yeah, confronting. Emma says mine is gold at the moment. I love that. See, I love this. This is perfect. So it can be confronting because we are confronting a whole new reality. It's like a whole new reality, or a reality that we're like, how have I been living in this? I don't know about that. So dizzy and nauseous. Yeah, so dizzy and nauseous can be not grounded as well. So two things, and it, so, I don't know if transient's the right word. It can change, right? So we've got, so dizzy and nauseous can be that you're excarnating out of your body. So if you're in a situation and there's someone, I don't know, just plain example, yelling at you, and then you're just like, whoa, and you just like get dizzy, like, because your soul is just going, I'm not fucking doing this. And you're just, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this, right? Nauseous as well can be, like you're taking on somebody's energy. So let's use that example. Someone's yelling at you. You're like, whoa, I'm not dealing with this. And like you're excarnating. Well, you're not in your body. You know how people talk about protecting your energy? Okay, I've got to use protection mirrors and white light. And whilst that's important, the best form of protection that you can have is being grounded in your body, your soul being housed in your body. And I am doing this because we're coming down. Okay, when we crown, the baby comes into physical reality. The soul is like being squeezed into its body. Okay, and when we look at this whole new reality busting in and the soul being grounded, that is your best form of protection. And most people don't feel, like I said, if you're not in your body, other people will be. And when other people are, or their energy or whatever's coming into your body, dark entities, etc., which can hang around at the crown chakra, right? It's like, are you gonna like do the thing that's good for you in your reality or not? Because if you're excarnated, I can come in, right? And this is why the lights are on, but nobody's home, or people overtake other people's bodies, okay? That's very common, okay? It's like, wow, you don't seem like yourself today. Like, yeah, because they're actually not, you know what I mean? So, and whilst that can be scary, don't be scared, get in your fucking body, okay? So nauseous can be you've just taken on somebody's energy because you've excarnated because you're like, I'm not dealing with this reality. And then we get all these physical symptoms because we're not connecting with our body, and our body is trying to say, hey, are you going to wake up now? Yeah? So dark entities, demons, you know, dark spirits, you know, that sort of thing. And I know it's a little bit scary, if you may. So yeah, dark entities, like, you know, and like I said, like the best form of protection is being grounded in your body. But let's look at dark entities on a different level, right? So last week, you know, like that feeling of like, oh, I'm losing my mind, or it's so overwhelming, I'm like fucking burning with rage, like, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, in a sense, where you're out of alignment of your life, like something's not right. You're like, this is not okay anymore. Like, you know, you might have been tolerating something, you know, in your life, and then you're like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing this anymore, because you've reached your tolerance point and you've been living a certain way, and you're like, no, I'm going to change this. And then you're like, yeah, I'm going to change this. And then you're like, oh, maybe it's all right. And we just go back. And that can be like, you know, it can be so subtle in a sense. I say demons and entities, they're that and they're not that. Like if we look at it like, oh, I'm actually just going to go back and tolerate this situation. It's all right. I can handle it. Yeah, it's not that bad. But actually your soul's screaming inside, like, actually this is not okay anymore, right? In whatever that might be in your life, for example. And you're like, you know what, actually this is not okay. And you actually up and leave, for example, okay? These demons, entities, voices in your head, if you may, like, are you sure? Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Are you sure that you're going to leave? Are you sure that that's right? That's what this is, right? You know, and basically they're like, are you sure you're going to be healthy and do your life purpose and actually leave that unhealthy, toxic situation? Are you sure? And you might be like, oh, maybe maybe it's all right. Maybe it's all right. And then the cycle freaking comes around again, and you're like, okay, I'm out, you know. It's like a little like, oh, maybe it's all right. Like, you know, so demons and entities in the throat chakra consciousness is where they really sort of house, if you may. And I'm doing the big course of throat chakra consciousness at the moment. I'm filming that. So when we look at, sorry, this camera's annoying me a little bit. So when we look at, you know, demons and entities, there's really the throat chakra is where they live, if you may. Like that's what the consciousness is connected to, because it's really based on shadow work of the psyche, of the dark side, which is, you know, the light and dark of reality. We look at integrating the shadows is very throat chakra. At the crown, whilst they can appear, it's not like sort of where they are, but they do turn up at the crown because we're busting into a new reality. And we're like, are we sure we're going to do this new life? Are you sure you're going to get healthy and do the things you say and leave this toxic situation? Like, are you sure? You know, and when we look at that, it's like, yeah, I am. And, you know, and as soon as you have the power, and this is the thing, like entities and demons disappear when you go, yeah, no, I'm not having a cup of tea with you. Thank you. I'm not going to entertain you anymore. No, I am going to do my life, you know, and as soon as you take your power back, they have no power over you. As soon as you're grounded in your body, they're not fucking in you anymore. As soon as you say to that, no, fuck off, I'm doing this, right? Basically, right? And you're strong in that, nobody can touch you, okay? No demon, no entity, no darkness, no nothing. Okay, the best form of protection is you being in your power and you being grounded. Now, when we talk about connection to source and we talk about alignment, yeah, meaning you're doing your healthy life and the thing your soul's calling you to do, not staying in the toxic, unhealthy situation that we've been talking about, as an example, apply it to any example in your life, right? When we look at this sense of like coming into alignment, it's connection, yeah? So your crown's open, your soul, source light. If you can imagine like a big pole of light, like a big power pole of light coming through your crown, coming down through the center of your body and making you stand taller and and your shoulders go back and you just feel stronger, right? That's really crown opening and you allowing the light into your body. Yeah, now you might feel headaches, nausea, all that sort of stuff when you first start doing that because you're opening and letting that energy in for the first time. There's an overwhelm, feeling, and like the brain neural pathways are changing. There's going to be that sense of like, ugh, what's happening, right? But you know it's right and you keep going forward. And it's the connection to source is what you're opening to at the crown. A lot of people have spiritual awakenings and they get stuck here at the crown chakra consciousness. They have a spiritual awakening and they stay very judgmental because they haven't actually gone down deeper through the body with that consciousness. So there's a lot of like, judgmental spiritual people. I used to be one, so I know this stuff inside out, right? Unless you continue your growth and actually learn to go into your body and step out of that judgmental state of crown chakra consciousness, then you actually start to bring the light of that consciousness through the other chakras rather than being judgmental to other people in the world. For example, like there's like some people who are like highly vegan and they're like so judgmental towards people who are not vegan, and that is so toxic. Like you might as well be eating the fucking meat, because if you're going to eat food by someone who's so judgmental about other people's food, like, it's just like, oh, I don't want that energy in my food. You know what I mean? So it's like understanding that the connection to source allows you to come into your body with that strength and power, but because you're shifting your reality, it's not always easy, okay? And that's why some people get stuck, because they're just like, oh, it's fine up here, I'm not feeling all my feelings because I know I'm just being positive all the time, and being angry is bad, it's so bad to be angry all the time because, you'll manifest that shit. Like, don't get me started, but Anyway, all right, so what else I want to say? Okay, so when the crown opens and that connection to source drops through your body, when the crown opens and we talk about alignment and we're like, confronted in our reality because we're like, this is not actually who I am. This is not okay anymore. It might have served me in the past and we're grateful for the learnings and the lessons and blah, 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 blah. But we're like, reach our tolerance point and we're like, no, this is not okay anymore. Why does that happen at the crown? Because when we open the crown and we connect to source via the crown, automatically the heart is activated. Yeah? And when the heart is activated, the crown and the heart have a specific connection. So each chakra is deeply connected to an organ. So for example, crown is the brain. Yeah. And each chakra can also be connected to another chakra. With the crown, it's the heart. As soon as the crown opens, the heart is instantly activated. It is like they're like in combination with each other. They're both in deep alignment with each other. Yeah. And so that's why when we're like, whoa, confronted by my reality, because this actually isn't who I am, my heart, this isn't what I feel happy with, this isn't all of that. Yeah. So when we look at that, it's like, oh, I get it now, right? So we open up that way. So, okay, what else was there? There was something else important talking about crown opening. So crown opening, heart activating. All right, let me have a look through here. I think you need a crown chakra healing. Yeah, so listen to the crown chakra activation, the crystalline chakra activation in the crystalline chakra activations. It's all a bit of a mouthful. But the crown chakra one in there, listen to that. Yeah, and I would also listen to third eye as well, because we're already sort of almost halfway there, because we're already activating the next one. I'd listen to both of them and just see how you go to start with there. And what I was seeing here, someone had said something. Kelly says, wow, exactly where I am right now, working with my trauma and my anger. Thank you for this understanding of where I'm at. Yeah. And because we're like working through busting like another reality and we're changing all of that, like it's shifting it out. Like, if you hurt yourself and then after and it's stiff and then you go to move it, it's like, oh my God, like, and you try and move it, it's like, oh my God, it hurts. Like you're changing to the movement of the flow again. Like, do you know what I mean? It's the same when we're shifting out a stuck emotion or a memory that we've repressed, trauma, right? It's going to hurt. That pain's going to come out because of what you did. What did you do? You suppressed the pain. So once we feel that and shift it, and we get what's the word? We get savvy with this. We get fast at this. We learn how to ride the wave. And I teach this in Trust Intuition. Like we become faster and faster at it. And it's not that we have to be fast and some things take longer and that's normal. It's just that we learn to understand it. And so we shift through it faster rather than being stuck in it for years. Yeah. So there was something else I was just going to say. Emma says the activation is beautiful. Yes. Alina says I've definitely come to lots of realization. Yeah. So that's definitely like what happens at the crown. It's just like this is not okay. And like we might have big reality shifts and realizations only, and our physical reality doesn't shift, but our relationships become deeper and we understand another person and we understand the dynamic better between us. So our relationships blossom and grow and go deeper because we're like, oh, I get it now. That's why they behave like this. Okay. So, you know, and it's not like you're changing the way you are, but you understand what's happening in the dynamics so you can support each other and then it flourishes. That's the crown, that's the light and the crown reality showing you the truth of the dynamic and being able to shift the reality to feel more at peace of the light of the consciousness of who you are really at your core. Yeah. That you've just reconnected to source. Yeah. Okay. So checking these comments here. Okay, and so there was one last thing. Hang on. Yeah, just let me check. There was something else here. I just had it again. Activation, realization. I feel like my eyes are going to pop out. That might be like crying, actually tears wanting to come out because the heart. So when the crown's activated, the heart's activated. What's at the heart? Oh, that's right. We feel, yeah, might be a suppression of tears there. Okay. Anger definitely teaches us what's important to us, for sure. Okay, something really important that I wanted to say, and I'm just trying to remember what it is. Because it disappeared. The connection to source, the light. Thank you. That's what it is. Okay. At the crown chakra and a spiritual awakening in general, which is your crown opening and connecting back to source, back to truth. Yeah? That's what a spiritual awakening is. It's like, and then, whoa, what's happening in reality? Yes? The spiritual awakening is not all it's cracked up to be. When we are connecting with the crown, not only are we everything that I've just spoken about on this live stream and so much more, but what actually happens is we start to take our power back because we start to realize that actually it's like we go from being out there to being in here. We understand and take our power back about reality, about all the things that go on and happen in our life and take responsibility for them. We realize that we're the creators of our reality, and we learn to, I want to say, take control of our thoughts that are a big factor in creating our reality. Yeah? What exactly do you find challenging, Pauline? So we learn that the external world happens as a reflection of what is happening inside of ourselves. Now, whilst there is like a spiritual bypassing thing about you create your reality, which we do, but there's certain sort of, I want to say, aspects of creating your reality that are, I want to say, beyond your control and then also in your control. It's a bit like destiny or fate. Destiny, fate, or choice, right? But what we do realize is we have deep, I don't know if control is the right word. We have a choice of how we respond to situations or react to situations. I also believe that reacting to situations is a stage of consciousness. Yeah, people judge people when they're like, oh, they're so reactive. It's like, actually, they're at a stage of consciousness that they're waking up to being able to respond. Yeah? So you've developed patterns and have had to work hard to realign yourself. Like, the older you are, the harder it is. Fucking oath, right? But it's still work, right? Changing your reality, shifting your reality and birthing a new reality, yeah, is not easy. That's why most people don't do it. And they look at us like we're crazy. So when people look at us like we're crazy, yeah, that's also a stage of consciousness. And the judging before the light of consciousness comes in a way, right? They're conscious, but they're not conscious. Yeah? Something, no matter how old you are, okay, nothing's going to shift overnight. You might have realizations, and then the physical reality and changes take time over time. Okay? And this is where it's important to have compassion for yourself and continue to do it anyway, because there is no other way. Once you're awake and you can't go back. Once you're asleep, once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep, as much as sometimes we'd like to. Like, why am I awake? Because I can't ignore this anymore. Yeah? So working with your understanding of the crown, the light of your consciousness, and realizing that you actually have a lot of control over what you listen to, who you absorb, who you surround yourself with, who you work with on a personal development level, on, you know, who you're relating to all the time, who have you got in your ears, who you're listening to, what frequency of music are you listening to. Like, you have a lot of control over a lot of those things. And you can also train your brain. So important to train and rewire your brain. And yes, it takes time, and yes, it takes work, and yes, it's hard, and yes, it'll bring up all your shit that is not that, right? That's how you change, busting into a new reality, remember? Right? And that's why you must be around supportive people. You must be around people who get it, i.e. you're here, okay? Keep listening to me at Reality Awareness. Find other spiritual teachers that you resonate with. And when you don't resonate with them anymore, trust yourself enough to go, actually, you know, because you will outgrow people. You will outgrow your mentors, just like you outgrow your friends and your family when you start to go on this journey. Okay, it's so important to trust yourself, okay? And surround yourself with the right people. Knowing that you have the power and control to move through this with consciousness, but it doesn't always have to be, like, I want to say, it's not always easy, and it's not always clean and happy. It's messy and raw as fuck, and raging anger and fire, which, you know, stops you from getting a fever and getting sick, right? There's a reason why, you know, most spiritual people don't get sick very often, because they're feeling their emotions consciously. Yeah, it's a conscious emotional intelligence. Yeah. So crown chakra consciousness, right, is for the rest of the week. We're starting to move into third eye chakra consciousness week. Make sure you grab the ebook, okay, the free crown chakra ebook, and you can work through that as well over the next week. Send me a message of ebook and I can send it to you, or you can even comment on this live stream. Actually, just comment ebook and we'll send you the link for the free ebook. If you'd like the activations as well, just type in activations. It is $49 for the activations, and then you can you know, listen to those each week as well, and activate through the activation of the crystalline energy, which is just so delicious. And you're activating a different frequency through your chakras, through your system, connecting to true source and aligning to the true source code. Yeah. So that is crown chakra consciousness. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, my 21-day shifter program is open, and also platinum is open as well. Oh my gosh, I've actually dropped the link for you guys. So if you see the platinum post, you can check it out. We've actually dropped the link last night, so you can actually see the link now. I'm really excited about platinum. It is the upgrade to transcendence, and it is a 6-month immersion that we are going to bring in the platinum frequency. I'm so excited about it because I can feel it. And I'm so looking forward to seeing and feeling what channels through, because delicious exactly is the energy. And you're talking about the activations, and I'm like, yes, that crystalline activation is a delicious energy, and platinum's like next level up. So if you can feel the frequency of what I'm talking about, and it is that delicious, you're just like, oh, just like, give me more. I just want to drink it up. Platinum might be for you. There is an upgrade to work one-on-one with me with platinum as well, or there's a 21-day shifter program, which is 21 days of unlimited voice message, text message, psychic readings, depending on what you need in your situation. We may get on the phone, so it's awesome to jump deep in, dive, and shift out stuff. We can shift out so much on a call. So if you've shifted out a lot listening to my videos, imagine what we do on a call, right? I'm excited to see platinum. I know, I'm so excited about it. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. I shall see you soon. Remember, crown chakra moving into third eye chakra, and I shall see you very soon. Yummy energy, soak it up.